You smell that? Oh yeah, that's the smell of a new god tier hand cannon. Or it could also be the smell of G Fuel that you got 30% off using code myfi at checkout. Now that's what I call a plug right there. But for real, there's actually a new hand cannon on the block, and well, it's probably the best hand cannon in the game. That's right, boys, Papa myfi is back and with me. I bring a hand cannon fresh off the Beyond Light train, and with the right roll, the God roll dominates every other hand cannon. But before we do get into this beast of a weapon, you know the drill. If you're new, and only if you enjoy my videos or have ever found them useful, then feel free to subscribe. Also, twitch.tv/myfi with an underscore at the end is where you can find a low tier ginger, me, making some pretty top tier plays every once in a while. Also, I wasn't joking about G Fuel and my code. Code myfi will indeed get you 30% off your entire purchase until December 7th. So if you're looking for a pretty poggers present for a family member this holiday season, they have a new cyberpunk themed pack called Cyber Punch, and my god, does it slap. Okay, plugs done. Let's get into this weapon, and yes, the God roll does make it the best hand cannon in the game. So if you've been in the Crucible at all since Beyond Light dropped, you may have noticed that a lot more people are using hand cannons, and for good reason. At the start of Shadowkeep last year, hand cannons across the board saw a nerf, and with the launch of Beyond Light, we pretty much saw that nerf get reverted, restoring a lot of hand cannons to their former glory. Now, I am of course speaking about PvP when I say returning to their former glory, but what about PvE? This isn't to say that the buff to hand cannons that we saw with Beyond Light didn't affect how they perform in PvE, because it did. It's just during hand cannons' time on the bench for PvE during Shadowkeep, we saw the rise of submachine guns and sidearms, which are direct competitors to hand cannons in PvE. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because a hand cannon's main job is to add clear. Okay, let me explain. Every good PvE loadout has three things: a weapon for group clear / single target damage, a weapon for boss damage, and a weapon for ad clear. The best example I can give of this would be beginning of Shadowkeep, when Izzy, Recluse, and Wendigo were dominating people's loadouts. Izzy for boss damage, Recluse for clearing ads, and Wendigo for taking out majors and ultras, but also clearing large groups of enemies. Not to mention that each of those weapons overlapped into another weapon's main purpose / role. Izzy could do great damage to a boss, but at the same time could do amazing single target damage. So it was covering two of those three things that I said that made a good PvE loadout at the same time. Okay, so now that you know what makes a good PvE loadout and you get what I'm trying to say here, let's get back into hand cannons. Subs and sidearms were and still are very popular choices right now in PvE when it comes to filling a player's ad clearing role. And even with the buff to hand cannons and Beyond Light, no hand cannon even came close or even comes close to the power of a sidearm or an SMG. They shoot too slow, most good ones have been sunset, and Bungie hasn't really added any new hand cannons to the game to really wow us. This is up until the Deep Stone Crypt Raid was released, and with it, the new raid hand cannon, Posterity. Posterity does not suffer from the slow rate of fire that 120 and 140 RPM hand cannons do because, well, it's a 180. It has some insane new perks that make ad clearing with it an absolute beast. I'm talking you don't even need to kill anything to get a damage boost. It has great recoil, so getting those back to back one tap headshots a breeze. I could go on and on, but I'm not. Okay, let's just get into the perks and the God roll. In column 1 and 2, we find pretty common perks for a hand cannon. For column 1, if you're on M&K, then full bore should be your go-to just to push that range as far as possible. But if you're on a controller, then something like small bore, corkscrew rifling, or hammer forge rifling is what you should be looking for. You don't need a stability perk for this weapon if you're on the sticks because of a perk we will discuss a little later. Then for column 2, you should honestly just go with accurized rounds for both controller and M&K because of the large range stat boost that it does provide. Now for the columns that we actually care about, column 3 and 4. For column 3, we find 6 perks: Rapid Hit, Feeding Frenzy, 4 times the Charm, Reconstruction, Surplus, and Killing Wind. Out of these 6 perks, there are 4 reload perks: Rapid Hit, Feeding Frenzy, 4 times the charm, and reconstruction. I'm going to be upfront and say that Feeding Frenzy and 4 times the charm get stomped in the dirt by Rapid Hit and reconstruction. Rapid Hit doesn't require you to kill anything to get a fast reload like Feeding Frenzy does, and reconstruction gives you 2 bullets back to your mag for just sitting there and doing nothing. Not to mention, it overflows your mag up to almost 40 bullets for, and I'll say this again, sitting there and doing nothing. 4 times the charm, on the other hand, requires you to hit 4 precision shots just to give you 2 bullets back, and it doesn't even overflow the mag. So now that we've narrowed down our list of the reload perks down to 2, how do these 2 reload perks stack up against each other? I'm talking Rapid Hit and reconstruction. Well, I feel like it's personal preference at a certain point because both are good and each one caters to a different playstyle. Rapid Hit for the aggressive, keep shooting player, and reconstruction for the more conservative player that likes to take his or her time. Even though I just said it comes down to personal preference, and well, I'm about to completely backtrack on that, well, I still got to give it to Rapid Hit because reconstruction requires you to stop shooting and wait to take full advantage of the perk. If you could continue to shoot and reconstruction would continue to give you ammo back, then oh yeah, reconstruction all day. But the fact that you have to wait and actually stop shooting for reconstruction to activate, well, I'm just gonna have to give it to Rapid Hit. This is a 180 hand cannon, meaning pumping out precision shots left and right is super easy because of its high rate of fire and low recoil. Also, Rapid Hit is going to further your stability, making landing those precision shots that is actually required to activate Rapid Hit or get more stacks that much easier. So now that we've established Rapid Hit is the best perk for a speedy reload on this gun, what about the other 2 non-reload perks in this column? Well, Surplus is good for the boost to handling, reload speed, and stability, but it requires you to not use your abilities. So I mean, if not using your abilities is something you do, then by all means this perk is good. But come on, your abilities are half the reason that you play the class you do. Plus, the stasis abilities are kind of busted, so why would you not use them? Then Killing Wind, and well, I just find Killing Wind on a hand cannon that offers such good reload perks to be super lackluster. I mean, come on, you're gonna pass up on something like Rapid Hit for a perk that requires you to kill something just to get a tiny bit faster draw speed, an entire extra meter of range, oh my god, and the slightest increase to your mobility. If there were no reload perks in this column, I would say, yeah, this perk is great. Or if there was something maybe in the future or in a second that we're about to talk about that requires you to not have a reload perk, then yeah, this perk's great. But because there's Rapid Hit in this column or reconstruction, I wouldn't use this perk unless I actually, just give me a second. I'll tell you the one exception. Rapid Hit or reconstruction dominate column 3, and that's what you should honestly go for. Now for column 4, and here, just like column 3, we have 6 perks: Demolitionist, Rampage, One for All, Opening Shot, Unrelenting, and Redirection. So let's take a look at our damage perks, and we have 3: Rampage, One for All, and Redirection. We all know what Rampage does. Each kill gives you a damage buff, maxing out after 3 kills. One for All is a new perk, however. One for All requires you to hit 3 different enemies, not kill them, just hit them, within a short period of time, and then you will receive 10 seconds of bonus damage. The bonus damage that you receive is roughly a 35% increase. Now for the last damage perk, Redirection, which increases damage to all majors and ultras after damaging low tier adds. This one is definitely the most confusing, so I'll break it down for you. You damage a low tier ad and you will receive 1 stack of reconstruction. This can stack all the way up to times 20 after hitting or damaging 20 low tier ads, or just damaging a low tier ad 20 times. It doesn't matter as long as you shoot a low tier ad 20 times. It doesn't matter if it's the same ad or different ads. It's probably gonna, one ad's probably gonna die after 3 shots, but you get what I'm trying to say. Stowing the weapon or reloading it does not reset your stacks. Upon firing at a major or ultra, if you have more than 5 stacks, then each shot will consume 5 stacks of redirection. If you have less than 5 stacks, then it will consume all stacks. Each shot that consumes 5 stacks will deal roughly 2 times the normal damage. So right off the bat, One for All destroys Rampage because it doesn't require kills and it's 10 seconds of 35% bonus damage compared to Rampage's 5-ish seconds of 30% bonus damage. So now that we know One for All destroys Rampage, what if we put One for All up against Redirection? Well, let me ask you this. Why would you be shooting a major or ultra with your ad clearing weapon and not your single target damage weapon like your shotgun or your sniper? This ties back to what I explained earlier, and honestly one of the main reasons I even explained that. Your hand cannon is for low tier ad clearing, so why get a perk that only deals damage to enemies that are majors or ultras and not low tier ads. One for All takes 3 quick hits on 3 different ads, and now you're mowing down enemies like crazy for the next 10 seconds. Why would you choose a perk that only does extra damage to maybe 5 or 7 enemies out of like an entire strike? You know, just for example, a strike might have 5, 7, maybe even 10 majors. Are you just gonna run around just wasting what could be One for All, what could be all that extra damage for a perk that is only gonna activate whenever you shoot a major ultra? No, you're not. You're gonna whip out your shotgun, you're gonna shove it in their mouth, and you're gonna do some things that I probably can't say on YouTube. So yeah, One for All is our clear damage perk winner. Now for the other perks in column 4. First up, Opening Shot. That's a PvP perk, and well, this hand cannon should not even enter the Crucible because hand cannons like Sturm, Ace, and Thorn exist. Like seriously, Sturm hits for 90 to the dome ski at like scout rifle ranges. This gun hits for 13 to the dome ski at scout rifle ranges. So why would you just don't even take this gun in PvP. It's not worth it. Unrelenting is just a no. A, it's basically a PvP perk, and B, it's not that hard to stay alive in this game, and it's not that hard just to find cover and regen on your health, especially with everyone and their mother running 100 recovery nowadays. And finally, Demo is, well, Demo. It's always good for grenade and ability kills. I'll never talk bad about Demo unless they like nerf it into the ground, then I'm gonna be big upset. You get your grenade back super quick, and because you get a free instant reload for throwing your grenade, well, that means you don't need a reload perk in column 3, meaning you can run something like Killing Wind. Literally what I just said like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, this is where you would run Killing Wind. And you can be moving crazy fast, chucking grenades left and right. So yeah, One for All is our top dog in this column, or Demo for all you grenade lovers out there. So our god roll is column 1. Well, depends on if you're a controller or M&K player. Refer back to what I said whenever I was talking about column 1. Column 2, accurized rounds. Column 3, rapid hit, and finally column 4, One for All. This combination of perks on a fast-firing 180 RPM hand cannon is really good for PvE activities. It is able to compete with SMGs and sidearms thanks to its ability to one-tap low-tier ads to the head, and very quickly, I might mind you, thanks to that fast fire rate. Once One for All is up, you can just start letting this thing bang for some high damage and damage that lasts 10 seconds of 35% extra damage. Then, thanks to rapid hit being paired with One for All and that fast fire rate, well, you're always gonna have a lightning fast reload speed. It's probably been a long time since you've used a hand cannon in PvE, and you've forgotten what it feels like. So let me just say this. I used to main the best primary in the game, the Aikilos SMG. But ever since getting this role, or at least a rapid hit / One for All role, I haven't touched my Aikilos SMG. And I think it's going to stay that way because, come on, Posterity is a 180. When's the last time you used a 180? That wasn't Not Forgotten, and you can't say Shadowkeep because Shadowkeep Not Forgotten was, well, a 150. It's fun, and it has a new deadly perk that is actually good. It's just refreshing. It's refreshing, and it's actually viable, and it's good, and I love it. If you are looking to get one of these for your own, well, you will need to do the Deep Stone Crypt Raid and pray to RNGesus you get blessed to have one drop for you from the third encounter. Third encounter is the only place it will drop. But once it does drop from the third encounter, then you can use your Spoils of Conquest on the final boss chest to get as many rolls as you want until you get the God roll. And once you also get it from the third encounter, then it will start appearing in the secret raid chest across the raid. There's only 2. I've actually made a video on how to get those chests solo. So if you already have this thing from a raid and you don't have any friends to raid with anymore because you LFG'd for it, then you can just keep going back each week and just praying that you get another one from the chest. And there we go. That is the God Roll Posterity, and yes, it is the new best hand cannon in the game for PvE. If you're still doubting if that's true, then go get a God Roll, use it, and I guarantee it'll convince you. But now, real quick, before you head out, okay, real quick, let me know in the comment section if you have the God Roll or not. If you do, how many runs did it take? If not, then what's the best roll you've gotten? And if you think you have a better roll than the God Roll I talked about in this video, then let me know what it is and why you think it's better. For real, sometimes I say and I tell you all a God roll, and then someone hits me with a, no, this is the God roll. Or, hey, I've been using this roll and I really like it. Then I try it out, I'm like, yo, this roll actually kind of kicks ass. So yeah, let me know. With all that being said, remember code myfi for 30% off at G Fuel until December 7th. There is a new cyberpunk themed flavor called Cyber Punch, and it slaps. Go pick some up. using my code. Also, don't forget that using my code does increase your chance of obtaining God rolls. Wink, wink. That may or may not be true. And finally, if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to slap a like on it. Okay? And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.